Morning. Wednesday morning. Had a day off the car yesterday because it was absolutely pouring down all day, and although I've got the garage to work in, it's just easier with the door open and a bit of natural light. It's supposed to rain again today. It is wet outside. It's supposed to rain later, so I thought I'd come out as early as I could and start on the car. In shock horror news, I booked it in for an MOT yesterday. It doesn't actually need one. It's exempt for those of you not in the UK. There's not going to be many, but when a car gets to 40 years old, you can declare it MOT exempt, which means it doesn't need a government check. But I'm not keen on that idea. It doesn't seem safe to me. Certainly not from first year of ownership. I don't know the car. So I think it's wise to get it checked properly. So it's booked in for a check next Tuesday, which coincidentally is its 42nd birthday. So I've got 6 days from today to make it roadworthy, which should be fun. So yeah, we'll see how we go with that. A few jobs I want to do today is start sorting out the rear end now, the rest of the holes that are in the boot area, etc., and obviously get the tank back on and change all the fuel lines. So that'll be the job over today and maybe tomorrow. We'll see how we go with all that. So yeah, I'll catch you later. Right, hopefully you can see this. The lighting here is not great. So fuel pipes, I had to take these off yesterday to get the sizes so I could get the correct pipe, but I just thought I'd show you what we've got. This is the pipe from the tank to the actual metal pipe that runs along the floor of the car. That's 8mm internal diameter. That was held on by 2 little clips. This pipe then comes from the solid tank under the car to the fuel pump. This is 8mm as well, but this looks original. Certainly when I took it off, it was held on by these 2 clips, one of which just rusted away. And then we have, after we get into the fuel pump, it comes out at 6mm, which was this pipe, out of the fuel pump to the carburettor. This was just held on by 2 Jubilee clips, and the filter itself had no clips holding it on at all. So I went and got a load of new yesterday, which I'll show you now. Okay, so here's the replacement hose. This is the 8mm, this is the 6mm, and then we've got assorted clips and a new filter. I'm not a fan of these Jubilee clip types, but unfortunately it's all they've got. I like these proper petrol pipe clips, but I shall keep my eye on it. It's not like there's a massive amount of fuel hose on this car. It's very easy to keep your eye on, so we'll get that changed while that filler's drying off on the back end. Hopefully you can see it. This, where my finger is, that's the, where are we? That's the solid pipe coming from the rear of the car. That's got to have 8mm onto it, and it's got to go onto this side of the pump. Okay, there's the first piece of 8mm in position. Got to do the 6mm now and put a filter in line. You should be able to see on there, there's a direction arrow for fuel flow. Make sure you've got the filter the right way around. Also, it's stepped in 2 stages for 6mm and 8mm pipe. Obviously that's on the 6mm section. Okay, finished project. I'm just gonna put a cable tie on that, just as it doesn't touch anything, but if there's a bit of movement I don't want it to rub, so I just thought I'd cable tie it up there somehow. The fuel hose is suitable for unleaded, but it's one of those things with a high ethanol content. Really got to keep your eye on fuel hose these days. I could have gone for really expensive stuff, but there's actually enough in 2 packets to do it again in 12 months or whatever if you wanted to. So it's such an easy job on this to do. I'm just going to keep my eye on it. When I had my Volkswagen Type 2 van, that was an absolute nightmare to change the fuel hoses on because of all the breathers on the top of the tank. It was just really difficult. This is a lot easier, so hopefully if I keep my eye on the hose, we should be good. So that's the pipe changed for the tank. Obviously you might see some of this in sort of wrong sequence, if you like, because I've done the valance before I've put the tank back in, but the tank back in sequence will go on the end of the fuel videos if you follow me. So one thing I didn't do when I was checking the wiring a few weeks ago, days ago, who knows. This is the wire to the fuel sender. Obviously the senders can fail, as can the little regulator behind the dash. The easiest way to check the dashboard is working is just to connect a wire to that and earth it out, and that should give you a tank full reading. So we'll try that now. Right, so this is the other end of that wire now. I'll just earth that somewhere if I can jam that in. That's it. And then I'll go in the car and see what we've got. We put the keys in the ignition now and get ignition lights on. The fuel gauge should rise. Can we see that? Yes. There we go. So at least the dash wiring is all good, and the car wiring. Let's hope when we put the tank back in, the sender works. Right, another thing I want to do, because I have no history at all of a service last done on this car, is get the engine oil dropped and get a new filter on it. So we'll get that off now, leave that drain in, and see where we can source a filter from. Right, you can hear by my huffing and puffing. I don't have an oil filter wrench, unfortunately. In these days of modern cars like I have now, it's a canister type that fits a socket on the top, and it's the easy job. These ones, this is on how we used to say years ago, to the setting FT. I don't want to hammer a screwdriver through it as a last resort, and I'm certainly not going to go and buy a bloody wrench. So perseverance. Right, success has been made. Just perseverance and changing the angle I'm lying under the car, and I've managed to crack it. So I shall just keep my hands out of the way now. I'll try and get this off without spilling too much. Look at that, he's done this before. This bolt was bloody tight as well. I know the engine isn't warm, but I'd imagine it's been a while since this oil's been dropped. Here she goes. Ooh, that's nice, isn't it? Magnetic. Nice bits of gearbox and stuff on there, I'd imagine. There we go. Yeah, just clean the sump plug up. I'm guessing, and this is a guess, that little bits of metal on there is the norm, as they wouldn't put a magnetic thing on. I'm guessing it's just gearbox wear, hopefully. I have no idea. We'll just have to keep our eye on that. The engine sounds sweet enough anyway, so we'll just see where we go. Okay, apologies for the light, I'm in the garage, and although it's not raining now, it will be in a bit. So come to a decision which I'm not happy with, but I've got to sort of be realistic. While finances are like they are due to no work, I can't afford to just go out and buy a decent, you know, gas MIG welder. I'm not willing to weld this with that gasless one and make a right mess of it. It's a bit of an awkward position. So I'm going to fill these temporarily for now, and then revisit them later in the year and do it all properly. So yeah, anything structural will be done properly for now. So there's one hole in the sill that's got to be done, but these I'm just going to fill these for now. They'll be okay. Right, here's where we are with the filling of the gaps. I've filled that, let it dry off and sanded it down, and then just put a skim over the joins there, and then I'm going to seam sealer all this so it just gets the desired effect. And then once I've stone chipped that, it should look pretty good. I know people aren't going to approve of it, but it is what it is, and it's my car, so no. I don't know how good you can see that under there. That's all been sealed and stone chipped. Again, is it pretty? No, but it's tidy, it's not leaking, and it is welded and strong. So I'm going to put the tank back in now. Okay, so the tank's back on and the exhaust's back on. Those of you that have been watching a few weeks ago when I test fitted this exhaust, which is adapted off a estate, I was wondering whether it had missed the tank. Obviously it looks like the tank has a cutout specifically for that. There is a bit more adjustment if I need it, but I've got a centimetre there, so it doesn't appear to catch at the minute. We'll just have to see how that goes when we're driving. So yeah, all the fuel pipes are on, tank's all bolted in. Just put some yellow paint on here tomorrow and we'll see how we go. Alright, that's me done. Sorry if I haven't filmed a lot today. I just need to crack on now with that MOT being booked, and filming myself sanding things down and stuff is just pointless. So I've really only done highlights today. We'll just see how we go. Catch you tomorrow.